Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. You know that song, you know that sound, you know what it means. It is time for the James Freel Show, and I am your host, James Freel. Very happy to have you with me as always. And you know what? This is the last episode of the James Freel Show in the year 2018. I think I don't have a whole lot to talk about here. I'm on that 2-0-1 streak. I'm still undefeated. But, you know, I'm doing this a day late. But, it seemed like it could have been really easy to just overlook this one, but I got a streak going. I haven't missed a week, and like halfway through this year, I think I started this in June, and there's just, if I have one hiccup, it's pretty obvious it'll result in a lot more of them. So, anyway, like I said, happy to have you with me, and let's hop into news for the uninformed. Alright, top news story. Hope that clicking doesn't. Alright, Russian ex-spy pressured over Manafort over debts to oligarch. EPA implements its shutdown plan. 2-year-old Yemeni boy who has mom sued U.S. to see him as has died. Oh, that's a bummer. Yeah, I can't really see what good old CNN has going on there. Wow, they're a hotly charged issue these days. Just a news outlet in themselves. Alright, Trump issues order freezing federal workers' pay in 2019. Yeah, so the government's still shut down. One lucky person could start the new year as a millionaire. Wife of Supreme Court Justice stirs controversy with her social media post. Interesting, all interesting stuff. So I guess the biggest thing going on is that the government shutdown still going. Move comes as 800,000 federal employees expect to begin the new year out of work or working without pay because of partial shutdown. It is always kind of funny how it's like non-essential employees get back to work once it's over. That's a funny Onion article. Alright, in sports, it's week 17, and you know what? I had a great, I'm just going to talk about the situation here. If the Bengals beat the Steelers, they're out of the playoffs. But if they beat the Bengals, which they likely will, I'm not giving up on them, but, it's Steelers week, and the season was kind of rough for the Bengals, especially if looks like the Browns might wind up with a better record than us. I sort of dozed off, but hey, the Cowboys are in the playoffs. I doubt they're going to make any noise in it, but hey, it'd be awesome to see it happen. So if the Steelers beat the Bengals and the Browns beat the Ravens, then the Steelers make it. But, I don't know. I would, if the Steelers miss the playoffs, I'll be very happy, because if they make the playoffs, then let's just say I think they got a shot at making some noise in the postseason, because they always seem to be able to do that. I mean, I talk about them, and it's like as if it's been almost a decade since they last won the Super Bowl. But I don't know. We'll see. Bowl games. It's bowl season, and today we got. Let's see. We got at 4, which I should be back in time for, the Cotton Bowl, Notre Dame versus Clemson, and then Orange Bowl, Oklahoma versus Alabama. And you know what? I've been given crap for this before, but I'm gonna be cheering for Notre Dame. It seems like Notre Dame is like a very polarizing figure. You're either a diehard Notre Dame fan or you hate them. And I've said it before. My favorite brand of football is the NFL. So, that in mind, I'm not as passionate about college football. I still love it. Honestly, I love the regular season of college football more so than bowl season, because bowl games, it's like, okay, it's ending. It's almost over, you know. Would love to see Oklahoma crush Alabama. I doubt that's going to happen. But hey, we'll see what happens if that does happen. Well, then again, does Bama have its quarterback? Who is Alabama quarterback? Let's see what we got here. I think it's going to be the love backup QB story as far. So I guess it is going to be Jalen Hurts, I think, because their starting guy got injured or something. And I saw a really good tweet that people were mad about how Georgia barely beat Alabama, but someone said, I think the big takeaway here is that Bama is clearly beatable. And I don't know how great Oklahoma is. Like I said, I don't watch that much, but we will see. We will see. All right, and what about pop culture? Top pop culture news. All right, what do we got here? Pop culture news, NBC news. You know, why don't I do this beforehand? Okay. Kevin Spacey, yeah, he released this video, this weird video about wanting to be back, but then like right after he released it, he got indicted on rape charges or something like that, which is good because he seems like a scumbag. He got justifiably Me Too'd, and that was a good thing. Aretha Franklin still owes about $3 million in back taxes to the IRS. I remember I did it. She was on the Pop Culture Story a few months ago. I guess her estate takes that. Of the attorney for Franklin's estate said at least $3 million of the $6.3 million debt has been paid since her death in August. So she still owes 3.3. Jeez, that's rough. Like, I mean, it is what it is. I like thinking about the 60s. Like Motown and music and all that. Takes me back. As if I was alive back then. Alright, so the way that the rest of this episode's going to go is I'm going to just briefly give you my week, and then I'm going to kind of reflect on 2018 a little bit. Because, like I said, this is the last episode of the James Freel Show in the year 2018. So let me quickly just say, last weekend it was good. I had a 4-day weekend, which led to a 3-day week of work. And then it's Saturday right now. Like I said, I'm doing the show a day late. But the first night, I gotta say, I tried Crown Royal whiskey. I give it a thumbs up. It's good stuff. And I got some Canadian Club. And also, I got the set of whiskeys that I will be trying later. I gotta decide what I'm gonna have to eat while I watch these games. Probably gonna wind up with some Chipotle, because over the weekend I got some wings, and they weren't that great. They were like discount, and it is what it is. Here I am talking about food like the fat person I am. I definitely felt like I gained about I'd say it felt like 10 or 15 pounds over the weekend. So there was that, and then Saturday night, me and my better half, I'm getting a better chair. Yeah, this is poor quality, but I think the rant will be good. Went to this place called Firehouse Subs. I gotta say, it was pretty satisfying. We both got a really large sandwich and split it. And then, so what I love about this place is they have like this hot sauce bar, and they rank the hot sauces on a scale of 1 to 10. And I took one that was a 6. It was like Shark Bite or something, and it was pretty tasty. I'm pretty sure I've given my rant on hot sauces several times, but I'm just gonna go ahead and give it again. I like hot sauce if, I mean, when it comes to heat. If it's flavor, there's like this inverse relationship, and as long as it's more flavorful than it's spicy, then I'm all for it. Another thing is, I don't mind, if I'm hungry, I don't want something to be crazy spicy because I want to be able to eat it and not fight it. But I am not opposed to, you know, let's say if you got a like if someone has this like incredibly spicy wing or hot sauce, I might put it on a corn chip or something and give it a taste. I tried that the bomb stuff a few weeks ago, and that was a nightmare. It's appropriately named because just my mouth, I could feel the burn all the way down to my stomach. It's like I could feel the connection, and that was not fun. Before that, we had a family get together on my dad's side of the family. And I sat down, and one of my cousins didn't show up, and apparently there's a lot of drama going on over a car being gifted or something, and someone was upset about that, and I think it reflected kind of poorly on the person who was upset and didn't show up. But hey, I don't know the whole story. I don't want to involve myself in other people's drama. It was a shame I couldn't see him, because you know I'm not going to be seeing these people very often. I mean, last Christmas they got us an escape room Groupon thing, and now we're finally using it. So that's that. I need to get some lighter fluid for this Zippo lighter that I have. Does anyone know if there's a way to tell if a lighter is fake or not? Because I couldn't tell you for the life of me. But anyway, so, and then after that I went to a friend's place. And we played a little bit of board game, but we really wound up just talking a bunch. I'm pretty sure I recorded the conversation. Yeah, you know what? I always do that when I've had a few drinks in me, and it doesn't seem like a big deal. But in retrospect, I'm like, yeah, I can understand how some people might find that creepy. Oh well, you win some, you lose some. And I did wind up asking him to be my best man. So there's that. And then the day after that. That was football Sunday. That was the day I got those wings, which I was pretty disappointed with. Day after, that was also football Sunday. So, yeah, the Bengals got crushed by the Browns. It is what it is. Yeah, I think they're going to be rebuilding the next 4 or 5 years, and unfortunately, it wouldn't shock me if they move before they wind up doing anything, which does upset me a lot. We've got those 2 beautiful stadiums, and neither one of them have any sort of playoff victories inside of them. What can you do? What can you do? And, you know, I mean, this is a hard thing, because I enjoy seeing other teams win, but I don't want to sell my fandom short, because there are other teams I don't mind seeing win. Like when the Bengals are trash, am I betraying them by going over and I mean, I'm still, if someone asks me who my team is, I'm going to say the Bengals. They're my team. But I like seeing other teams do well. I mean, it's like, what am I supposed to do? Sit here and be miserable? Maybe that is what I'm supposed to do, and maybe I'm a horrible fan. Of course, I could always hide behind the whole, oh, I'm a fan of the game, man. That's what I'm a fan of, and use that as an excuse. But who knows? Who knows? I still think the city is extremely fortunate to even have an NFL franchise. I believe we got it in a time period when oh, that's my cell phone. We got it in a time period where Cincinnati was a much more relevant city than it is today, which is why I think when their lease is up, they're going to move. Got a text, yeah, from the group of people who are doing the breakout room today. Yeah, what day was that? That was December 1st. Jeez, that was 3 weeks ago. Alright. Checking out different scores. Oklahoma, who have they played? They lost to Texas, but that game could always go either way in those rivalry games. They beat Texas in the rematch, so there's that. They had a shootout with West Virginia, though. Yeah, if I were picking, I'd probably put my money. If I were a betting man, I'd probably put my money on Alabama today. But I will be cheering for the Sooners. I like their color. Just too similar to each other. Hopefully, one of them has the away color going. All right. What do we got here? What do we got? So I guess after that, I met with them, and that was the day I watched the Saints beat the Steelers. It was a great game. There was a lot of bad calls in both directions. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think the Steelers have a legitimate gripe to be made, but I don't think it's what decided the game. I mean, they had plenty of opportunities to put it away, and they didn't. Maybe not going for it on 4th and 4 and giving it to a full, or 4th and 6 or something, and giving it to a fullback. I don't think that was the smart decision, and I took great joy in seeing that guy celebrate after he hadn't made it the first down. Truly enjoyed that. That made me very, very happy. All right. Then after that, I had Christmas Eve, which my better half and I, we went to Five Guys. We always get, this is the 3rd year in a row, we got a burger before, on Christmas Eve. That's just a fun little tradition we do. It's a good burger also. Pretty tasty if you ask me. The flintiness is almost gone. Hold on, people. I'm gonna see if this still works, and it looks like it does. Okay, cool. Did that. We skipped out on service, but we watched this little thing with Randy Travis, I believe. It was called Annabelle's Wish. It was a nice kids' little movie and stuff. So after that, we had service. My brother's special lady friend gave me a nice little Bengals ornament. Then this past week, I had a job interview for a dream job, and let's just say I don't expect any sort of response. I mean, anything positive. I'm moving on. I don't have my hopes up, and I'm just gonna have to take it and learn from it. It was a phone interview, and in my mind, I bombed it, but I know I'm overly critical on myself. In reality, I think the truth is I just failed to wow them. It is what it is. They asked me what my hobbies were. I said tennis and poker. Yeah, my awkwardness. And honestly, the thing is, I'd probably be even more awkward over the phone I mean, in person than I would over the phone. And I can just tell they're probably looking for someone a little more experienced than me. So I shall move on from that. I need to get some lighter fluid for this thing when I go out. I've had this thing for a long time. Lift to fill. Yeah. Let's see how that goes. Alrighty, what else we got? What else are we talking about here? I finished that show, F is for Family Season 3. It was really good. I was disappointed with the ending, but the overall season was really good. I didn't care for the way it ended. It just sort of, the plot line didn't really, I don't think, major plot points were not resolved, which upset me. But, you win some, you lose some. So let's go ahead, and then Christmas Day, I went over, watched that movie Bird Box that everyone's talking about. It was a solid 7, 8 out of 10 movie. I'd say a strong 7 out of 10. It was entertaining. It didn't feel like a 2-hour movie. It was pretty good. Alright, so let's reflect on the year 2018. And I think 2018 was sort of a transitional year for me, because it was the first year I finally stepped into adulthood. I know I'm really late to the party on this one, but it's the first time I wasn't fully in school. I worked not a real job, but I worked 40 hours a week in training for a real job, and it was a great experience. I talked about it last week. My teachers, all 3 of them were great. The 3 classes that I did take this year, Ray Ellingschnazen, I shouldn't be saying names like that. My economics class I thoroughly enjoyed, and physics teacher was a late grader, which was nice of her, considering she was one of those people, who graded tough. And then there's my lab partner, who was probably in his mid to late 40s, maybe early 50s. I can't remember his name, but he was a great guy. Who else? Memorable people, that's what I'm going with. This is the year I met JB, the guy who taught me beds. CK, the guy who got hired in a job that I would love to have, he was great. Although I think we're sort of fading off now, but that's okay. You know, people come and they go. Uh, Michael Reinhardt. I'm gonna go ahead and say his name because he's the one who keeps asking me to find this. He's like, I've told him I have a podcast, but I really shouldn't have said names, but like, no one listens to this. Who cares? He's like, you talk about me, you know, and I think he and I might hang out soon, and we shot each other some texts during football games. He's the one who recommended Crown Royal to me, and you know, I was satisfied with that stuff. So those are the people that stand out when I think of 2018. You know, the two bosses I met, the director's son, he's a funny guy. Oh, the pump guy, you know, RM, yeah. Alright, so let's think about music. So, this year, so at the end of last year, I know I was like just starting to dabble with Ben Folds. This was the year I like fully went all in Ben Folds. Like I was listening to like everything. I'm pretty sure there's very few albums I haven't tackled, both Ben Folds 5 and Ben Folds himself. And Randy Newman I indulged in a lot. Jeez, that was 2016 that I first heard about him. Really got into him, explored a lot of his new album that came out last year, Dark Matter, was great, and I don't think I started listening to that until this year. Fernald, that's a new place I discovered this year. I think I might have gone there in no, I think that was spring the first time I went there. Yeah, I think so. Baseball sucked this year. The Reds were horrible. They had a good streak going on in the middle of the summer, but the damage had already been done. Didn't really follow FC Cincinnati at all this year. I don't even know when their season is. Didn't go to any hockey games. Super Bowl this year, I was kind of disappointed with it. Well, no, I wasn't. Just the Eagles are such a bleh team. I feel like it was a wasted year on them. I'd rather see the Patriots win it again. I don't think that's going to happen this year, but it might. Maybe if they can get that bye week. I mean, who knows? That's the funny thing about that team. They always seem to just find a way to win. And it would have been perfect to let Tom get another ring. I want him to have as many rings as well, he has more rings than the Steelers dynasty and stuff. All right, what else? What have we got here? Baseball was garbage. UC basketball, they did well, but they lost it pretty heartbreakingly in March Madness. Started using Twitter still. Food. What did I like food? Pretty sure. Yeah, that was all last year that I first tried. Jeez, it's crazy how fast these years go. Movies. Let me see. Let me bring up my IMDb. Of course, I didn't always rate every episode that I did. Let me see. My activity, my ratings. What's the last? Hopefully, this isn't all. Killing of a Sacred Deer. That might have been last year. The Karate Kid. That was all right. Rocket Science. That was a good movie. Life of Brian. In retrospect, it was much better. I, Tonya. That was really good. Bedtime for Bonzo, pretty good. Going My Way, it was alright. It Follows, that was a good one. Gay Divorce, yeah, that's right. I rented a bunch of old ones this year. Goodbye, Mr. Chip. It, Jeepers Creepers, and It Looks Like Everything Before. I don't know if I watched The Circle last year or this year. Blue Velvet, I think that was this year also. That was good. The Ring, Martyrs, the one in 2015, I thought was good. I'm pretty sure Deliverance, was that this year? I think Some Like It Hot, so I mean, I don't think I started renting movies until Sallow, yeah, 5,000 Fingers of Dr. T, Don't Breathe, Predator, Heathers. Yeah, I think the rest of these are all before 2018. But I think I just gave a pretty good list of all of those. it kind of upsets me that that Martyrs movie. I mean, I haven't seen the original, and I hear that it's horrible compared to the original, so that's why I give it the rating that it has. I really enjoyed Rocket Science because it just reminded me of just the competition that was going on. It reminded me so much of back when I would do show choir and stuff. Man, it only has a 6. I gave it an 8 out of 10. I thought it was great. The guy who wrote it directed it also. It was released in 2007. Oh, the guy who did that also directed The Office. I did not know that. I guess he directed a few episodes. Spellbound. Is that one about spelling? Oh, it's a documentary, comedy / thriller. That looks pretty good. Let me add that to my watch list. Alright, you only have so much time with food. Hot Chicken Takeover in Columbus. I didn't have Kim's at all this year, and I really like Kim's. You know, that restaurant that's close by. Yeah, my drinking was kind of bad this year. I mean, I gave it up for Lent again, and I did Sober October. But, I mean, other than that, there wasn't really any tabs kept on it. Oh, well, this is the year I started really working out consistently. I've been doing the elliptical machine for the most part 3 to 4 times a week, with a few, like I'd say, 90% of the weeks that happens. In fact, I would say 92 or something. So that was a big change this year. I got my weight down pretty good because the heaviest I've ever been is 154, and at one point I was 132. Right now I'm right about 135, 140. I'm floating between those two numbers right there. Video games, Red Dead Redemption 2. I don't think I read many books this year. Oh, okay. The big books that I did this year were the Killing series by Bill O'Reilly, which, yeah, they may not be totally accurate, but I think a lot of the critiques are that of the author and not necessarily whether it's accurate or not. I think they're pretty consistent with the whole we have 2 sources, okay? We're going to go with that system, and yes, we're going to make it interesting. So that I read What Happened by Hillary Clinton, which, whatever you think about her, I thought it was a good book to read. I thought it was pretty good. There's that book King Khan. That was pretty decent. R.L. Stine, Party Games. That was a kind of a fun YA book. It didn't really make a whole lot of sense, but books with that kind of genre, it didn't really know what it was doing. But hey, it's R.L. Stine. He's Stephen King for kids. Did I get through any Stephen King? I don't think I did. And I've tried starting it 3 times, and I always get like 2/3 of the way through. And then I just stop because I want to see the new movie. And I just watched the first one, so it is what it is. Politics, yeah, let's not talk about politics. I don't really listen to a lot of the people. I don't know. I still listen to Bill Burr's podcast a lot, which, like I've said before, inspires this one, even though I'm not funny. Saunas. Started doing saunas this year. Did I explore any new places? Not really. Falling Out, yeah. AV, you know who I'm talking about. And at least my conscience is clear with that one. And I don't want to sound cynical or anything. It is what it is. Yeah, I mean, all in all, I'd say it was a pretty good year. It's at least a transitional year, and it might be one of the last fun years I have for a while, especially if I start working full-time when I start and everything, and start getting out into the real world, having my own place, and stop being the loser that I am, who still lives around at this age. It's getting kind of sad. Alright, this is going to start getting loud, so I think I'm going to sign it off here. Happy New Year's, everyone. The music's going to start, and it's going to take over my voice. So take care. If you listen, thank you so much, and have a great and safe New Year.
With the